Exception handling in Python. So how do you handle the exception? So we'll go with the basic exception handling at first. I'm gonna we're gonna do. We're gonna see what it really is, and in what case we need to handle exception, and what happens if we don't handle the exception. Let's try to. Let me show you what happens if I don't handle that exception. See, what's gonna happen if I don't handle the exception. It's gonna give me something like division by 0. This is something like your program's been crashed. Alright, that's it. Your program crashes if you don't handle the exception. So you need to handle the exception. As you can see, your program eventually crashes. Let me show you something. This is it. This is it. So you get an exception over here, and your program crashes. And this print statement couldn't get run. That's the reason why you need to handle the exception. Alright. So let's begin now. First we'll get started with the basic exception handling. Alright. We're gonna start with try block. Now we're gonna do our computation out here in this block. If we get some exception in this block, we're gonna get into except block. It will see, it will check whether the exception been handled or not. As it is handled, it's gonna say error, and it's gonna print it's not allowed. Alright, this is what it's going to give us. Alright, that's it. So you need exception handling. Why do you need? Because your program crashes. In order to not let your program to get crashed, you must handle the exception that may get raised. Next thing is handling multiple exceptions. How do you handle multiple exception? Handling multiple exception means to say that in a certain, in one of the, like, in a certain piece of code, you can have a lot of error. You may get bunch of error, and to handle it, we must have to handle it, by using some exception theory of computer science. Result. So let's divide this. Get some better exception, and we need to end. Where's a division by हजुर okay, okay. Okay, so what do you think? This exception is? So let's do that. So this is the exception that you may get this exception. When? Let's do this. When you may get this exception? When? Damn, no, no, no. This will me. This is a second, bro. What the? I think you make it exception when you have this. Like, damn, no, no, no. I think I'm a little bit confused about this. Let me Google. Okay, let me Google this. We have something called value error. Shit. Damn, how do I know? Shit. I couldn't really. This is the case when we get value error. Okay, so that's it. That's it. If we did we see what we get? Handling multiple exception. Now we're gonna see catching all exception. How can we catch all the exception? Try dim by zero. Script. Let's see error occur. So we get the exception and the division by zero. Because we cannot divide by zero because it's like if like you're gonna you can handle any other exception. I guess this is error occur. Error occur. Name J is not defined. That's it. That's the thing. You can handle any kind of exception out here. All right. Using with this thing. Else clause. Okay. So let's talk about what else clause is. So next thing is else block. Exception handling with else clause. What is this else clause? It's like else block is executed if no exception is raised in the try block. What does this mean? No exception raised in the try block, and then only else block gets executed, or what? Yeah. If no block exception is raised in the try block, else block will get executed. But if we have some kind of exception, then else block will not get executed. That's it. That's what it is telling. Let's try. Result equals 10/2. this is an error. Else, wait, zero. It's only my deposit. This is the result that we get. But if I place something else right here, then you're gonna get something like error. This is an error, and this block will not get executed. Let's talk about something else that is called, binary clause. So binary clause is like executed even if the exception is not raised. So even if the exception is raised, even if the exception is raised or not raised, the finally clause will get, finally block will get executed. Even if even if there is no kind of exception, okay? You're gonna, if there is even an exception, if there is exception in the like error in the program, the final block will get executed. No matter if there is exception, no exception, it doesn't matter. If the final block will get executed. Alright. Final block. This is an error. Finally, the program is all executed. Alright, so this is an error. The program is all executed. It's gonna give me the program is all executed now. That's it. That's all about final block. Even if there is exception, if there is no exception, the final will get that's it. The final block will get executed. The final one, not the final one. Alright. So this is raise an exception. Use raise exception to raise exception. If there is no exception, if you want to raise exception, you can erase it. That's it. Raise an exception. That's it. We just raise some kind of exception that is a custom error message. And that's it. If you can even write in some kind of if block and something happens, then you can raise this kind of exception, and the exception will get captured by except block. This is what we can do. Next thing is custom exception. Alright, custom exception. Let's make our custom exception. Like custom exception is like, you can define your own exception classes, by inheriting, from the base exception class. That's it. Alright, so let me show you how you can do that. Let's call it like my custom error, whatever, exception or error. Let's call it error. Exception. Custom error. Accept. Print. Custom error. This is a custom exception. The next thing is nested try exit block. Nested try exit block. It's like, nested means, what do you think nested is? So I know that you may have heard about something like this, nested if else, nested if else block. It's just like that. Means to say that we will have multiple try block. We'll have multiple try block within one another. Alright. This is nested try block. Try. Alright. And it's in a visual, we call it 10 by 0. If we get some kind of exception, we're gonna go with 0 division error. We're gonna go and print this is inner error, or whatever exception, or whatever, let's call it inner error. Alright. And even we have this, we're gonna raise something. And as you can see that we're gonna raise any kind of exception, So when you call raise, it's gonna source. Where like this whole block will get like it will not get disappeared, but it's gonna search next exception handler. Alright, so we're gonna place this exception handler out in the outside of the try block. Alright, so I'm gonna say 0 division error. I'm gonna say this is outer error. Alright, so this is it. This is how it works, as you can see. So we're going to talk about using assertion. We're going to talk about assertion, how you can use assertion, how you can use assertion, and how we can raise something called assertion exception. We're going to talk about that. Alright, so that's it. So let's name it as assertion exception. Try x equal to 10. Assert means like the 0. If we get something like this, what are you gonna do? We're gonna say x must be positive. Alright, so if x equals 5, which is not. Alright, which is not. So it's like x must be equal to 5. Right. Except assertion error HE, we're gonna say f assertion error. We're gonna print the error name. That's it. X must be equal to, because we have raised axis now here. If I have raised something like 1, let's see, we'll have x must be positive. That's it. That's how it's gonna work. Let's talk about how we can usually handle the exception in a function. Alright, so it's gonna be like the title be exception handling in a function. Right. So we're gonna create a simple program. This is it, exception handling in a function. It's gonna be like simple program, This program, what this program is going to do is, this program will take two numbers and it will divide it. But if there is some kind of like 0 division error or any other but in this case we are using 0 division error, but you can use any other exception handler, exception handler, what we call that, block of code. Or even if you don't know the exact error, sometimes we don't really know the exact error. So in that case, you can even use exception as E. So you can just print the exception. All right, or you can even directly uh, print the print it as exception, or you can even print as E. All right. So let's take some two number. Let's create a function named divide, which is taking two numbers, that is a and b, and let's create a try block now. Catch zero zero error. Say cannot divide by zero. So equals divide in by zero. I'm gonna print that thing out here. So that's all about today. Thanks for watching. So that's all about exception handling. All right. This is not a tutorial video, to be honest.